So number one channel is your overall brand and your employer brand. It does not matter where people find you on these other channels. If your overall brand or your employer brand are non-existent or weak, um, it's not going to matter. Obviously, we mentioned the job boards. Nothing wrong with those at all. Definitely need to be there. Make sure your employer brand speaks through on your job postings. I'm not here to workshop or prescribe things for you because it's your brand, but make sure it speaks to those people and to the right people with your job postings. Recruiters, depending on the size of your company, recruiters can be very valuable for your company. Social media, and I have both passive and active here, and I'm going to give you some examples that I pulled straight from contractor social media. But passive would be creating that employer brand without specifically saying, hey, we are hiring. So celebration of your employees or deeds or activities that you're doing for the community. There's lots of options here, but document these things, share these out on social media. And then obviously the active version of social media is saying, hey, we're hiring, running ads at those kind of things. Again, I would strongly suggest having a careers page that you can send people to from those social media ads. And then probably just the same as a referral for your contracting business, referrals in the hiring and recruiting phase. So great. If you're hiring the right people to begin with, they're obviously going to be more likely to be referring the right people. So really lean on that. Come up with referral programs for friends and family, for your employees, but definitely something to keep in mind because referrals are going to get you those right people. So here's just a few images. I won't spend a ton of time on these, but this is a great friend of mine, John Dye, just started a roofing company, owns American Contractor Show. He's got some good stuff here. I'm not here to critique or do anything, but what I love about his ad here is that he talks about Modern Roof and what they do as an organization. And he doesn't talk about, hey, we put on 3-tab shingles or we do this type of roof coating. He talks about what they do for the end user, and roofing is just the means as to how they get there. I also would draw your attention to the what we offer. Honestly, base salary, I've got some stats here for you. It's not as important as you may think. Company truck, company phone, fuel card. Really, really think about what you can offer to your employees to differentiate yourself from those people in your market that are trying to hire the same type of employees. And so we'll talk about that here as well. Here's my good friend Benny Fisher at the Big Fish. I don't know if there's much better employer brand out there than Benny. You can read this quote here, but basically talking about how they operate, what they deliver. He uses a concierge service as something that at Big Fish, that's what they want to deliver to their clients. They're not a roofing company. They're a problem solution company, a concierge service that happens to put roofs on. And so just a great way. That's theirs. Obviously, you can see he has a careers page, which I love. Here's another one from him. Always be enthusiastic. I don't even think this was from an ad. This was just, hey, who we are as Big Fish. This is what it's like to work for the Big Fish. I mentioned Heath earlier, has a great careers page, but here was just a Facebook photo that they had. They raised a whole bunch of donations for a food bank. And look at that. There's their team smiling. They're excited. They did this. They're giving back to their community. People want to be a part of something bigger than just a job. And you can really get that message out through your employer brand using social media. Again, not to beat Benny's stuff to death, but he does a great job of this right on their Facebook page. Employee spotlight, celebrate your team, because when people are following your page or stumbling upon these things, they say, that's what I want. I want to be celebrated. I want somebody that's, talking about how great a job I'm doing. So that kind of ties recruiting all together. Again, please feel free to use the Q&A if you have questions. But again, don't forget why we are here. And it's to keep the rock stars. Again, this is all about retention. We want to retain our rock stars, but we also want to make sure that as we're growing, that we're getting rock stars. And so making sure that your recruiting is dialed in is extremely valuable. At the end of this webinar, we're going to send out some follow-up emails. One thing to keep in mind is we're going to send you a standard operating procedure template. It's probably 80 or 90% fleshed out, but that 10 to 20% will allow you to fine tune it to whatever process you're wanting to create. I would create a standard operating procedure for recruiting and making sure that we're always recruiting and not recruiting when we just need to fill spots.